Hi, and welcome to another episode of On Transit, the TV show On Transit that takes place on transit. This episode of On Transit, we get together with artists from the Interact Art Center to do a little ride down the Hiawatha Line and check out some of the art along the way, get their critique of the art along the line, and just talk about the ride itself. So stay tuned and for another episode of On Transit.
That's
All
so great.
aboard. The Hiawatha Line will depart shortly.
My name is Joy Vaught, and we're at the warehouse district at the light rail station. And I am a visual artist as well as a performing artist. And I have been writing Metro Mobility for 15 years. Just started writing the light rail just when it started.
My name is Martha Moulay, and I live along the Hiawatha Line, so I use it 2 or 3 times a week to get where I want to go downtown. And it's so nice to not have to take the bus, to just hop the train and get downtown real quickly.
My name is Mary Collins, and I am a visual artist at the Interact Center.
I'm Jonathan Hamilton, and I'm one of the directors of the Visual Arts program at Interact. It's a center, studio and theater for artists and actors who have disabilities.
I mean, it just changed my life when I was started that program. I didn't think I knew much about art, and you can learn so much, and you get a chance to do a variety of things. The thing that I like about it is they don't focus on your disabilities, they focus on your abilities, which is really important to me.
The studio program, which is what I do, is just a big open studio where about 50 people come each day or each week and make their art. We have classes, we have materials, we just have lots of people who are really interested in, getting creativity going. We hang out all day and make art.
I have been involved with Interact for a couple of years now, and what I'm currently working on is doing some basket weaving. I had done basket weaving, probably 10 years ago, and then just kind of dropped it. It became too many steps to do and stuff, and so now that I've been back at Interact, I've been able to go back and do my basket weaving again. So that's what I'm currently working on. I've done some sculpture and some textile, just a variety of things.
At Interact, I work with lots of different materials. Right now I'm working a lot with clay, and so I'm making functional thrown pieces with clay and also sculpture. I just started working on the figure, and that's looking at the figure, the body. It's really pretty exciting. I'm having difficulty trying to make the whole body stay together and not crack or fall apart. And I also like to paint and like to work with other materials too.
I sing upstairs, and then I work downstairs, like ceramics and other stuff.
Why do I use transit? Because I need to, and I don't always have a ride to go with me. Like, my group home doesn't always have to be able to drive me, so then I have to either ride the bus or ride the light rail or ride Metro Mobility. I've noticed some of the artwork, and I like the history notes that they have on the light rail as well. I haven't gotten a chance to stop at each one, but because normally I go straight to Mall of America.
I usually use Metro Mobility. I've tried the city bus a couple of times. It's nice that they're handicap accessible with the lifts on all of them now. But I don't use the bus hardly at all. I've not been on light rail before.
And maybe I'll feel like I could actually ride the train by myself after this experience today. I haven't been to any of the other stations, and I'm looking forward to seeing the art. I've seen the colored glass at the Hiawatha Lake Street station from my car, and I like that. It It's sort of reminds me of, I think it's Mondrian.
I remember before the Hiawatha Line was open, they came to the neighborhoods and talked to the neighborhoods about the train coming, the light rail. And I remember going to one of those meetings, and they talked about that the people that lived in the neighborhood could design the train stop. And so there was a lot of conversations about what people thought would be important to have at the Lake Street line. That's the stop that I get on. And it's just really nice to see that there's art there. Oftentimes when I get to the train stop, I'm in a hurry. So if the train comes right away, I go, and I haven't had a chance to really look closely at the art. I just have kind of seen it from a distance. But I think that's a great thing because I've seen different people looking at it at the stops.
That's beautiful. I really like that. I like the colors they've chosen because they're real bright. And I think bright colors make me happy, or I feel that way.
It is an activity that you could do for a day, is to go and just look at each stop and how they've designed it.
Maybe if I had a lot of time to just mull about the ground, I would think about these. But
Fibonacci? I don't know. It's 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. You take the previous number and add it to the current number. That equals the next number. So the first one is 1. The second one is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 plus 2 is 5. 5 plus 3 is 8. 8 plus 5 is 13. On and on, 13.
So then why is it all in ones and zeros?
It's digital. It's digital.
if I were just here on my own, I would just think this was some design. I wouldn't even notice this.
They're beautiful. I've never noticed them. I've never seen them before. I just love trees, and they look real, like photographs.
Nice.
They're creative. I mean, it's like a window seeing through a tree. That's really cool.
It's like the buds are coming out like they are
These are
today.
maple, yeah. Yep. Another spring
Yeah, that's
tree.
pretty cool.
It's a spring tree.
Spring day.
Weird.
I'm wondering where the bird doo-doo is.
There's no bird doo-doo.
Watch out!
I like the windows because you can see it all out, and even when you stand, you can see out and stuff like that. That's cool. I also like the handrails because if it gets crowded, then you can hold on to them and stuff like that, which I had to do when I traveled to the airport with all my stuff.
These are mosquito wings and those are jet wings.
Those are real? That's
yeah.
the size of a jet wing?
Yeah, this is kind of cool, and I was kind of scared to come through this part of the tunnel because when they were building it, there was. Oh, I had a mosquito on me. Didn't bite. That was a good mosquito. It's kind and it's quiet.
It reminds me of the LA tunnel that for the light rail over in Los Angeles, they have this little area just like this where you go through a tunnel and stuff like that, and you have to get out and then go back up, except for it's not made of stone or whatever like this is. I like to dig. It's fun.
This is beautiful. I really like these because it's just about Minnesota. It's just nice for people to be able to see that.
Pretty.
You'd almost want to go up the escalator to see them as you go up and then see them as you come down.
We're getting on a jet plane. We're leaving. Hey, I've been on one of those river boats. I know
this is really very nice. I mean, it just makes you curious, I think. It's interesting. It's not just, oh, yeah, that's that. What is all of this? And that the map is there. I still want signage, though. I want to know who did this. Oh, this is so nice, the way it just flows.
I never noticed. I have been here before when I was flying out, but I didn't notice. I think it's beautiful. It had some nice snapshots of Minnesota, like the rolling hills with the hay bales, the haystacks on them, and the one I really liked was the stones, because a lot of people like to go to the North Shore and find stones.
I think it's very modern and very tells a story when you go up and tells a story when you come down about the Minnesota stuff. And coming to Minnesota, when I first came here, it didn't look as good as this. So Minnesota has definitely stepped up a step. If there was a tornado and I was at the airport, I would come down here. Yeah. Just put it that way.
Art is such a rich part of our lives, and the more real art that people come in contact with, the better it is for all of us. I mean, it's just like having a real drawing rather than a print or a real piece of sculpture or a real ceramic piece that someone has actually made with their hands rather than made by a machine. It just enriches your life. It just and so I think the more exposure people have to real art, the richer all of our lives will be, and the less people will be afraid of art, and people will realize that art is not some big mysterious thing that we have to be afraid of. Or if I say that I'm an artist, then people think, oh, well, woo, but I can't help it. That's just really who I am. And a lot of people are artists and are afraid to say that, and a lot of people think that if you're an artist, you're thinking that you're somebody better than someone else, and it's not true. We're all who we are.
Did you see the turtle up here?
I think there's one on the other side too that I saw when we
I like
went out.
these spots of color.
Doesn't seem to.
Yeah, this is great. I live in this neighborhood, so there's a lot of bungalows around here with the detached garages. That's exactly what these look like, is bungalows with detached garages. And there's a road.
Oh, I think they're great. They're all different textures too. Oh, yeah, they're little cars, two little cars. This is cool. This is just awesome.
That's kind of different here.
Well, I think it stays with the theme about the houses in the neighborhood, that these are all the tools that you have at your house to do the yard work and birds, and yeah, it's everything that you find here. Is that how you started?
Oh,
The streetcars had little.
Until they got big and sassy. Those birds never stopped singing. They were real know-it-alls. So we decided that they were probably philosophizing with each other. We named them Aristotle, Socrates, Plato, Epicurus, and Pythagoras. Like I said, real know-it-alls. They were the bosses of the house. They took to flying all over the rooms, making nests in the china cabinet, scratching up all of our furniture.
At a couple of the stops I have, and a lot of times you're not there long enough to hear the whole thing, which is kind of nice, because then you can look forward to listening to it again another time.
We started coming either 18, 19 years ago from the state of Oregon, and we came with friends out here and got hooked. So we've been coming back every year.
I'm a painter and a sculptor. I've done some dinosaurs and some mosaic type things.
You know, people see art in many different ways. It's the same thing. The same picture, the same design can be of many different interpretations, and that's kind of exciting. Driving?
Metro.
I don't know which
Driving up there.
Nancy, what are you doing? She's driving. Look at her.
If I did use it, I'd have to go up front for the drivers.
Go faster, Nancy.
Oh, see you.
Just sit down. The guys. Choo-choo. Step on it. She was going like this. She's in there. This is where Nancy Sears picks up. Okay. She's gonna stop being an artist and she's gonna go into. She's gonna be a conductor. Conductor.
This is the train station right here where they switch out the light rails and everything. That's where the other light rails are kept. S2, S3, S4. And then you'll see artwork on the side of the building when we pass it.
Yeah, that's cool.
That was the fish I caught. Oh no! They took a picture of the fish I caught. Yeah. On our way to Hawaii, you remember? Yeah. Oh my goodness, my parents would be so proud if they saw that.
Yeah.
Saying you caught that muskie in Hawaii? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I like those. Like cartoon drawings, they're cool. I have a friend who does cartoon drawings. His name is Donovan. He's really cool at drawing cartoons too.
I like all the bright colors. That's what really has gotten me here. All throughout the stops, the colors.
I think they're very bright and colorful. Very like 1980s kind of thing going on here. But they're like bridges, and then there's a tower and a candle, or no? Oh, that's a building.
It's kind of like the buildings being whooshed as you go by fast on the train.
Sounds a good idea.
This is Aldo Moroni.
Yeah.
Diary of Ocean Cave, August 28th. Today at the Minnesota State Fair, I stumbled across the annual Celebrity Butter Carving Contest.
Oh, they're constellations. I didn't even see that.
We can't get at the Minneapolis Planetarium at the library for a while, but we got it here, so.
I know like the Ursa Major and Ursa Minor and the bears and stuff like that without the star charts.
I'm trying to pinpoint, you know, when you look up and if it's a constellation, I don't really see things that are familiar to me. And they repeat the names. So there's Cepheus over here and then Cepheus over here. So I guess I just don't really get it. I wish there was like something that would explain, you know, what it means to the people that did it.
Very good.
Hop on board the light rail and welcome to the future.
Welcome to the Minneapolis Skyway system. Our downtown area has been hermetically sealed in order to lock in freshness. Come, stroll our 16 miles.
And I wanted to stop and listen to the video, but I've just been kind of in a hurry when I've gone by, so I haven't done it.
Sunset's over the freeway tonight. It's stopping now.
Public art can be really challenging sometimes to do successfully, and it seems like a lot of the spots, the different stops have done it pretty well. So I like what I've seen.
It's so neat that they made every stop unique.
That is beautiful. Oh.
Wow, they have a lot of different designs on it. Oh, I like the circle. That's a challenge to get.
Oh, I think they're really nice. I didn't realize that this was here. I'd like to know what the significance or what they were thinking. You know, why they chose mean, it reminds me of the Stone Arch Bridge. But it's really much more impressive from this side.
You haven't ridden the train before. This was your
No,
first ride. So
right,
what have been your impressions so far?
Well, I like it. I wish there'd be more. And now I feel a little bit more comfortable. I just wonder how good the connections are.
I think this train was just great in getting in, finding a spot. The buses only have 2 spots on each bus that you can have either a walker, wheelchair, whatever you're needing. And so sometimes I have to block almost the whole aisle to find a place to sit. Some people will not get up, even though they're supposed to, if you ask them. So that's kind of kept me from using the bus. I'm not real familiar with bus routes, and kind of afraid of that. I got real excited when the light rail came in.
If you don't mind not petting her.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay. She's a service dog, so I have a disability, and she's been trained to work with me. It gets a little distracting for me when the people pet them.
I ride the line I have a service dog, and she travels with me. I have a disability, and so I've had her for about 1.5 years, almost 2 years now, and she rides the light rail with me. We also did ride the buses, and actually I had kind of a negative experience on the bus with one of the drivers in particular that I felt was harassing me about having the dog, and wanted the dog to sit in a certain spot and not to stand, and it's just kind of uncomfortable. So I was glad when the light rail came along and I switched to the light rail, and we've had really good experience so far. There was one time that I got on the line, and right away the driver made an announcement: the only dogs allowed on the light rail are service dogs, no domesticated animals. So I knew he was speaking to me through the microphone. But I think at that point he saw her vest and realized that she's a service dog. Once in a while I've had someone come up and ask one of the light rail staff about her, and then she has an ID
Cedar
that I carry
Riverside
with me,
Station.
and so I'll show her ID.
Exit left.
And then they've been just real welcoming to her, and had really good experiences. And Ruby seems to enjoy it. She'll sometimes lay down and kind of take a little nap while we're on the light rail. But she's used to it now. It's part of our routine.
This light rail is real not as bumpy as the bus, and you don't have the traffic that you're backed up in for a long time sometimes. It's a smooth ride. Yeah, smooth stops. You can understand and hear the person talking as they call out the next stations. So this is just really, really neat.
I enjoyed the ride, and it made me recognize things that were on the light rail that I didn't know there were.
Well, I hope we have more mass transit, because I really like the bar in San Francisco. That's just been really an exciting thing for me to take. And in the 80s, I rode the train in Washington, D.C., and that was so nice to be able to get places easily, and I think you could ride this all day. Spend your life riding the train. I hope we have more trains, especially it would be nice to have one in St. Paul. But I just hope that transportation takes on a little more importance, because I think that if we have better transportation, that there'll be less congestion on the roads.
Just I'd like to see more light rail. I like having it, and it would be nice to have more. Like to go from Minneapolis to St. Paul, I think would be a nice to have one there.
It's interesting. I would like them to make one up by where I live, up in Coon Rapids or Maple Grove area. I heard that they are, and I think it would be a wonderful thing if it could go all the way up to St. Cloud and back down to Minneapolis. So the people for the out in the western suburbs can get out here, without riding the bus or metro. So.
The art was cool too, and I did like the upside down bungalows. That was kind of my favorite, I think.
I liked the ones where with the cars on top and the houses. I think those were very interesting.
I did like the 38th Street station a lot. That's really wonderful.
Oh, I'm just really thrilled. I'm really glad I came, and I'm going to do it more often. I'm going to tell my friends about it. It was so much faster, much more accessible with the walker. Just totally awesome, and I'll do it a lot more.
Such a wonderful thing, and I just wish more people would get out of their cars, but it seems like it's been full. I just think it's nice. It feels clean. It felt safe. It was just exciting. It reminded me of being in a big city, like being in San Francisco or being in Washington, D.C. or being in Chicago, and I think it's about time. So that's what I think.
Really interesting. I love it.